Hi, chat. Welcome to the show. Thank you for giving me a super chat already, saying that all attractive blonde German women should be allowed entry into the United States. Now, look, you can allow whatever you want in your country, but I'm going to judge you for it. I don't think you should allow any type of German person into the United States. Although, no, actually, hold on, I'm wrong. Only after a long period of re-education, maybe like 4 years of military service in the Marine, where they're constantly drilled American propaganda so that you can wash away the taint, then you should be able to. You guys like don't understand. Germany is not just a normal country, okay? It has gone like so many ideological brain fucks, and you can judge a country based on the pandemic, and most importantly, like how the government and the people supported the government during the pandemic. So to understand why Germany is a problem, you need to get the history. Like, they had actual communists, okay, like the Red Army, indoctrinating their people, like spending actual resources and indoctrinating their people into socialism. And then the Americans also spend money into denazifying their country. And so the result is a generation of people that literally despise their own nation. Like, if it's bad for Germany, then they vote on it. I'm not even kidding. It's horrible. And also, before that, they had like this branch of Christianity, the concept of the city on the hill, which is the idea that the world is spread into godly and ungodly. Like, there's no in between. And so, if something is not godly, then it needs to be destroyed. It needs to be eradicated from the planet. It needs to, right? And they ban dancing. They ban like any type of fun activity. Even other Christians like going to these places, they were like, no, this is like way too fucked up. Just so you can understand what we're talking about, like, this is not just normal Christianity. It's the idea that you need to operate a nation like the military, and so like everybody has to go to church at the exact same time. Everybody has to confess, and when you confess, you rat on your neighbor and what they did. I mean, Jesus. But you can see during the pandemic, right? Like, the mentality during the pandemic was, what's good for me is good for my neighbor, and if the neighbor doesn't agree, I will force him to do what's good for him. And so, like, that's Germany, you know? I mean, I understand there are individual Germans, and they have, like, base stakes and whatnot, but as a society, you can't risk letting them in, Jesus. Not without re-education. Off topic, Mike Gordon posted on his YouTube channel a trailer for the game he's working on. Thank you, Sergeant Gunnery. Unfortunately, and I have to say this, I have no idea who Mike Gordon is. But I wish him good luck on his game and his project. Pity about the Germans. We need the Nazis more than ever. I don't think so. I think, like, if you actually got the Nazis, right, you wouldn't like them. Unless you're an authoritarian, right? The Nazis were warmongers, like, constantly looking for an excuse to fuck up with someone, and I don't think, like, that's a sustainable way of having a nation. It's a good ideology if you have enemies to fight, but, like, when you don't have enemies to fight, they turn inwards, just like any other Puritan spiral. So, no. And by the way, a lot of people will get upset if you say, well, Nazism was a good ideology. Hitler was on the Times magazine. The America traded with the Germans. Like, there were a lot of American industries that basically said they they don't want war with Germany because the trade was too good, right? So that now people would get upset, but, like, back then, before World War II, it's a little bit more complex than that. We have plenty of enemies to fight within our own nations. You say that, but again, the moment you run out, you're going to see that the party turns inwards. If you really want to see why Nazism is bad, I think, like, the best representation of Nazism that I've seen is on the TV show called Man in the High Castle. It's especially towards the latest seasons, right? Go watch that. It's really interesting, especially what happens to the kid. But anyway, Stalin was on the cover of the next year. Was he? Was Stalin on the cover? It wouldn't surprise me, though. I mean, it's kind of like now, you know, you get to see Zelensky on the cover. Like, the media was always the media. And so it's also like who pays money and shit. And so, like, with Hitler on the cover, like, probably a lot of American corporations wanted Hitler on the cover so that they can justify why America needs to constantly trade with Germany. As for Stalin on the cover, it's kind of like now, right? Like, you see Zelensky on the cover. Like, during World War II, a lot of American money was going to Russia. And so, like, you needed to justify to the American people why they're pretty much, like, supporting communism. Anyway. American, you watched some of it and got bored. It gets better on the later seasons. But, like, again, this is the reason why I'm saying, like, it's a good depiction of Nazism in the TV show Man in the High Castle. Because actual politics is actually boring. You know, like, genuine historical ideology is actually boring. And so, like, that TV show genuinely describes, without over-exaggerating or downplaying, right? And so you get a clearer image. Every episode says the next part of the story. V, you don't know how bad it is in Germany? No, I know. Like, currently there are 3 nations on planet Earth that are first world countries, and I would say they're really bad. First one is Germany. Second one is the United Kingdom. And third one is Australia. And of course, you know, like, this is not counting war zones and places. Russia would probably be a 4th. But I'm not even kidding. Like, I would rather be in Russia than to be in the United Kingdom, because Russia is a little bit more honest, and they're not arresting people for social media posts. Obviously, like, it can change, you know, like, in the future, England can become the type of nation that used to be in 2014. But right now, no. Like, right now, and the way of living is the problem, right? Like, constantly just increase taxation, increase inflation, hounding people on social media, justifying for more control. It's like, ugh. No, Canada is actually a good nation. I mean, good, reasonable, right? Like, if you're not in the big cities and you're in Canada, you're okay. You're okay. No, it's but like, if you're in England, right? Taxes keep going up. Your purchasing power keeps getting down. Constant restrictions of liberties, like, you managed to get a refill of soda, and now the cops are at your door. Lack of freedom of speech. It's horrible. No, I would rather... No, seriously, like, I would rather live in Canada. I'd much rather be in Russia than in China. This one's interesting, though. Like, it depends. Where in Russia and where in China? I don't think, like, China is really that bad. Again, depends on what province and where you are, and like, are you a middle class person, or are you a farmer or whatever? China, unironically, I don't think it has, like, right now, I don't think it has more control than the United Kingdom on the people. I think it's the same, actually. I think, like, life in China and in the UK is kind of similar. Like, seriously, like, I know people from China, and they're telling me, like, you need to go out of your way in order to trigger the government. And the reason is probably that they have, like, billions of people, and they can't, like, deploy the resources to police every single individual. While in the United Kingdom, they have a smaller population, and they mostly police their natives. So it's a little bit overkill over there. Obviously, I don't want to be either in the UK or China, right? Like, I would rather live in the US, but, like, if I'm forced to, and it's like, V, you need to move. Where? The UK, China, or Russia? Where would you move? Unironically, I would say China. Like, if these are my options, okay? Like, I cannot live anywhere else, I would say China. They dropped below $1 billion? Even better then. Like, you have better housing rates. I would rather die than live in the UK. I mean, no, I'm not saying that the UK can't become a better place, right? Because it used to be a better place, and I'm pretty sure in the future it will become a better place. But right now, under the current management, I think it's going to become worse. Yeah, I'm suffering from Bell's palsy. I took the vaccine, just so you know. Like, my avatar got the COVID flu. Got the, sorry, the Fauci ouchie. Anyway, right. I want to show you something interesting. Apparently, a lady from TikTok managed to figure out the scheme that right-wingers are doing right now. And the reason that right-wingers want to cut welfare is because they can tap into that single mom demographic. Okay, so this is not just a woman; she's a resource. I will show you this because if I don't show it, I don't think people will believe me. But okay, here we go. Hold on, wait, did I fuck something up? I think I fucked something up, chat. I think I fucked something up and I can't show you. Anyway, I don't need to show you the video. Listen to the audio.
I'm wondering, do MAGA men think that because WIC and SNAP benefits are going away November 1st, that this is going to open up the pool of women that they can date? Because they're going to say, oh, single mom, she's already proven to be a breeder, and she's going to be broke and not able to feed her kids. What can I get away with? What can I do to her just so she can feed her kids? That's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. They're going to be so disappointed. And because women have chosen the bear, and the next step in that is women choosing women, not in a gay way, but to live together. And
I definitely, like, see, this is my problem, chat. I don't know what's real anymore. People were basically saying, the AI is going to make it so you can't tell fact from fiction. Motherfucker, I can't tell what's real anymore since 2016. Like, I'm watching this, and I'm, okay, so this lady is basically saying that the reason men want the government shutdown is so that the single mom demographic can be redistributed, right? Like, they want to seize the means of single moms. And I'm looking at it, and it's like, okay, this can either be a person that got radicalized on Reddit or on Pedo Sky, like someone trolled her, and this is what people do. They doom scroll, and they internalize the arguments, because, like, critical thinking just doesn't exist in our society anymore. And if they hear something that could be true, they then start reproducing it. Or it could be the troll, right? Like, it could be the one that's actually putting this out in the hopes that someone without critical thinking would start reproducing it. But, like, holy shit, you know? And as you can see, like, it's got, like, 300,000 views. It's very popular and stuff. I don't think it matters if it's real or not. What she's saying goes against reality. It's kind of, no, but, like, the idea that she's basically saying what I've been saying, and that is, like, the welfare state is the problem, right? Because, like, biologically, and throughout human history, for the last, I guess, like, more than 6,000 years, humanity has created families in order to raise children. But in the recent decades, I guess, we have considered that, no, actually, that's not a good idea. What if we just steal money, like we exploit people the same way nobility exploited peasants, right? Like, what if we exploit people and we take their earnings and then we redistribute them? And so if that's the case, like, there's no reason to have a child to take care of you when you're old, because the government will take care of you when you're old, right? And so you can also be a single mom. Like, you don't need a head of the household. Like, men are useless. Men are just a resource to be exploited, and if possible, just not be around them. And basically what this lady is saying is that, yeah, no, like, this is pretty much like what she thinks is happening. World is only 6,000 years old? How do you know? What if it's 6,001 years old? Anyway. Woman says stupid, opinion rejected. It's not like what she says. Like, first of all, it doesn't matter that you reject her opinion or not, right? Like, And it's not that she can vote that's the issue. It's that she has purchasing power. She has social media influence. Like, she can basically change the mind of other people, right? Like, you still live with her in a society. And well, I guess it's shocking to realize that, well, these can be your neighbors. Not because of their opinions, but because of... How should I even say? It's like, it's the malice that's there. You know, like, I have no malice towards her. No, I wouldn't date her, of course, you know, and I don't find that she's appealing, right? So, like, within the dating market, I don't have an interest. But, like, as a person, I don't necessarily hate her, but I do have the feeling that she hates me, she despises me, and she despises my son. Why? Because we're men. Simple as. Anyway, right. Yes, V, those are problems, you agree? It's like when what if Alt History read a script of his writer friend where the girl boss falls in with her incel employee, Labao, and said that's not happening. To be fair, like, the girl boss falling in love with the incel employee is still more possible and plausible than the idea that that single mom is going to find a Chad. I mean, let's be honest, you know, an incel can still score, you know, like, she can still get drunk. She can still be caught when ovulating. There's also a thing that they don't tell you, but, like, this is medically accurate. Like, if she's on the pill, she actually starts liking soy boys. Like, do you guys know that? Like, there are certain pills that women go on, which, besides the fact that they're making them obese and it increases the risk of blood clots and cancer and all that, it also makes them find beta men attractive. And what's interesting is that they go on the pill, they get in a relationship with a soy boy, and when they stop the pill, they find the soy boy disgusting, and it usually leads to breakup or divorces. Did you guys know that? Huh? It's very omoshiroi. It's very interesting. The leftist women still search for the Chad. They do. I remember when Shuan Head was a leftist, and she basically wanted the jackhammer. Did you see the Asmongold video where a young boy was asked by his sister whether women should be drafted? The boy was super based and called her sister out on the BS. I haven't seen it. Should women be drafted? As a man, I don't think so. And I'll tell you why. There are certain positions in the military that are more safe. Being in logistics, being a nurse, being a drone operator. And so, if there is a war, I would rather be in one of those positions, right? I think, like, everyone would. Like, as far away from the battlefield as possible. And so, if you add women into the mix, where do you think the women are going to be deployed? Well, the answer is in the safe positions, right? Like, they're probably not going to be deployed on the front line. And so, if you deploy women in the safe positions, that's less safe positions for you. So, if you're a man and you have critical thinking and two neurons to rub together, you would always advocate against women being drafted. For the sole reason that you're going to be, and if you're going to be, you want the position where you're not going to get easily killed. Now, there are a lot of things that's a problem with women being drafted, and they don't talk about it. But it turns out that if you put a man and a woman, they can fuck and have kids, right? And so, what do you think happens when you're in the trenches? I'll tell you what happens when you're in the trenches. Because I know stories from Afghanistan, from people that went there. You have, like, the boys that are in the trench, and they're suffering, right? And there's not a lot of space, because, like, trenches aren't 5-star luxury hotels. They're bad places. And then the girls come in from a different division, and now they need a separate bathroom. They're not going to piss where the man is pissing, right? If they want to wash, they're not going to wash where the man is washing. And so they're going to want separate facilities. Guess who has to dig them under artillery fire? Not them, it's the men that has to dig them. Like, this is what I've been told. On top of that, women have different skin. In the sense of, that's why they have, like, different skin products and different razors and shit. They're not as durable as men. Like if you put a woman to march the same length as men, like her body genuinely suffers. Now, of course, there are women that can do it, right? And there are certain women that do make somewhat good soldiers, although not as good as the men, and it's simply because like it's kind of comparing a little car with a truck. Like biologically speaking, it's a problem of weight. Like if a man weighs 200 pounds, then obviously like a woman that weighs half of that. But still, all in all, this whole thing with like women getting drafted, I will tell you like another issue with it. Let's say that there is a war, right? And I'm a woman, and I don't want to go on the front line. Do you know what I do, chat? Very simple. I get pregnant. Like seriously, if you're a woman and there's a war, and you have to choose, it's like, well, you don't have to choose. You're getting drafted. What's to stop you from getting a baby? I mean, that's what I would do, right? And if the war keeps on, I get another baby. Like, I'm not going to go to fucking war. Right? And like, no one is going to draft a pregnant woman to war. As far as I know. Like, no nation does that. I would absolutely refuse to fight unless women get drafted. See, like, this is another misunderstanding. Like, people live in a fantasy. Like, the concept of refusing to fight usually doesn't exist. I'll tell you what happens if you're drafted in Ukraine, okay? Let's say they have different types of draft. Whether they serve you papers and you have to go there, or they come to your door, or they simply pick you up from the street, okay? So they pick you up from the street. You're walking your dog, you're carrying your baby carriage, you're going to the groceries. It doesn't fucking matter. You're an Uber delivery guy, right? And they simply like stop and they take you from the street. The British Army used to do that back in the day. They would get drunk people from port cities and conscript them on boats. Like this is a tactic that has been going on since the world itself. Like America is probably one of the few places that didn't do it. But anyway. You get drafted from the streets. They put you up in a place, in a prison, right? Then they process you. And you get your military training done. You don't get weapons. You don't get ammo. Like, you're just being drilled. And they have, like, tactics that have been proven to work for thousands of years of breaking people. Going to break the living shit out of you. Then they're going to rebuild you. And then you're being placed to sit in a trench. Now, see, this is the gaming mentality. This is the Call of Duty mentality that everyone gets a gun. Not everyone gets a gun, especially not in Ukraine. If you're on the Ukraine or the Russian side, chances are you may not get food, you may not get equipment. Do you know what you gotta do? You gotta sit in a trench. That's what you fucking gotta do. You gotta sit in a trench. And you sit in a trench for like 3 months. It's cold, it's bad, you may not even get food. Right? You sit in a trench with other guys. Maybe you have like 2 or 3 other guys. And you're sitting in that trench. And you have to dig the trench to make sure that the perimeter is secure. You gotta stay on guard. And you gotta watch out for drones. That's pretty much it. That's your life. And then the artillery shelling happens. And when the artillery shelling happens, you pray that one doesn't hit you. But at any second it can. And when the artillery shelling stops, that's when their soldiers advance. They usually advance after the creeping barrage. And you gotta defend yourself, because like they're coming to kill you. And if you manage to defend yourself, congratulations. You survive for another 3 months of just doing nothing. That's pretty much how war is like. You're also discounting refusals en masse draft riots? No, I'm not. Like, again, they can take you from the street. And most people don't refuse. From my personal experience with most nations at war, most people don't refuse. Like, look at the United States. They didn't have a problem with getting people from the draft. They actually had people wanting to sign up in World War II and World War I. It is what it is. It's called patriotism. Like, see, this is the thing. Like, the government is expert at manipulating public morality. They don't manipulate to 100%. Like, there's people like you that will never be manipulated. But usually, like, they aim to manipulate, like, at least 50 or 60% of the population. And they're very good at it. I mean, look at COVID, right? Like, during COVID, like, genuinely, you would find people that would get aggressive if you don't put on the chin diaper. or people that genuinely advocated for the government to lock you up if you didn't get the vaccine, right? It wasn't the government doing it. It was like average Joes on the street freaking out because you're not complying with the COVID mandates. And so, like, if there's a war, like, the government would shift from, multiculturalism and open borders and nationalism is a bad word. Like, they would shift from that into, no, like, defending the nation, blah, blah, blah. Just like they shifted with the war on Ukraine. Like, for the 2 years, they went on, it's like, oh, human life is more important than property. If you can save grandma, it's worth shutting down your business. And then the moment Putin invaded, it was like, to war. We need to support Ukraine. We need to tear down the COVID measures. Let the refugees in, etc., right? They have to be drafted or lose the right to vote. They can either be capable of being in combat roles or be comfort as a woman. Again, if you put that in, right, like the problem with drafting women is they can get pregnant. Like this is a biological fact. And you can't really say, oh, we're going to take her right to vote away if she is pregnant, because some politicians may get pissed off. It's like, hold on a little bit, that's my wife, you know? And not to mention, like, there's going to be media scandal. All you need is like 5% of women that actually do want to fight, and you do find them, like they do exist, and they will start getting abortions just to get on the front line, and that looks really fucking bad on the paper. Yeah, forced abortion if drafted. Like, you put that policy, and I guarantee to you, you're going to get a riot. I'll probably riot as well. I mean, like, what is the purpose of a war if you're not fighting for the next generation? And you're like, no, forced abortions. Like, come on. It's an open secret that women in the military get pregnant to avoid deployments they don't want. It's not even an open secret. It's like known fact. Like, you can find it on Reddit. It's, yeah, I guess open secret is the way to put it. But, like, who wouldn't do it? Like, of course everyone would do it, right? Like, if you're drafted and you're being placed in a nasty combat zone, dude, like, there's men that shoot themselves in the foot to avoid the draft, right? It's like, what? Why wouldn't you just have unprotected sex? Not for Vietnam. To be fair, like, Vietnam was really fucked up. I think, like, World War II would have had also a lot less sign-ups if people actually saw if people were actually told that they're not being deployed in Europe, but they're deploying in Japan, right? So, like, usually the word in Pacific, like, all of them were really fucking brutal and really fucking bad. And so, yeah, if you were to tell people in World War II that they're fighting the Japanese rather than the Nazis, you'd probably have a lot less sign-ups. Those who would give up essential liberty to purchasing a little temporary safety deserve neither liberty nor safety. Benjamin Franklin. That's true. Let's look at the lady from Germany that was seeking political asylum, because that's a smart move. Like, I actually told this to Sargon back in the day, and I asked him, it's like, why don't you seek political asylum in Hungary? Because it will look fucking bad for the British government. But Sargon didn't want to, so I guess we're going to have this AFD lady.
It's Naomi Zeibt, and I am the first European to seek asylum in the United States of America.
I don't think she's the first European, though. I think, like, there may have been some Ukrainians. And I think there's also a British person. I may be wrong, I would have to check, but, like, I would find it weird if she's literally the first European. Because I know, like, some British people were doing it for the same reason, like, for free speech.
Under President Trump's new proposal for a refugee mandate, because I am facing persecution in my home country, Germany, for my political views, for my support for the AfD party, the only opposition party in Germany, and most importantly, for my advocacy for free speech. I have become the target of severe government and intelligence surveillance and harassment. My communications have been intercepted, and my family has been stalked by reporters for the state media for whom we pay taxes. And I continue to receive death.
To be fair, though, like, that doesn't change in the United States. There have been cases like Taylor Lorenz, right? Like, journalists that actually do go around and stalk people in their private life. CNN, another example. Like, there was this guy on Reddit posted a CNN meme, and CNN blackmailed them, right? So, yeah, no, this isn't necessarily like a German thing. Like, I wish it was, but the American media does it too.
Death threats from Antifa. When I asked the police for help in the past about these death threats, they did not offer me help because physical harm had not occurred yet. President Trump has correctly identified Antifa as a terrorist organization. But meanwhile, the German government silently condoned these attacks.
To be fair, though, she may actually have a case. Yeah, I think like she may actually have a case for asylum because she's right. If you're like if she's saying she's being persecuted, right, and it's ideological, number one, it checks, and number two, she's saying she's getting persecuted by a terrorist organization, and according to the United States, yes, she is. Like, so, she may actually get in
On their own citizens, as if they are soldiers for their agenda. This year...
See, the problem, though, is, like, if I was the Trump administration, the problem that you face, which, I mean, it's not a big problem, like... But it's the idea, okay, we let her in, like, what happens when NGOs start funding radical leftists to come into the US as well? But I think, like, they wouldn't really be worried about that, because, like, if a leftist actually wants to come to America, they can come to America, right? It's more of a PR thing, and I do think that she's winning the PR battle here.
I helped arrange the viral X-Live conversation between Elon Musk and AfD leader Alice Weidel, which I'm sure many of you have seen, as it drew international media coverage. While Europe is becoming a breeding ground for tyranny, America still treats the right to free speech as sacred, and thank God for that. In Germany, it is illegal under paragraph 188, which was extended under former Chancellor Angela Merkel, to insult or damage the reputation of a politician.
To be fair, though, that's like really fucked up. There have been people calling, usually like green politicians. They're the ones that are lawsuit happy. And there was like this guy called the politician fat. And there was the owner of Gab. Owner of Gab comes out and he posts on this and says, the German government actually asked me for the docs of the person that called the green politician fat, and I told them to go fuck themselves. And I wanted to see, like, is she really fat? And I gotta say, like, yeah, I mean, the definition kind of fit. I would say, like, it wasn't enough. Like, she was a massively morbidly obese corporeal manifestation. But you're not allowed, right? And it's interesting because it's the concept that if it's a politician, it's better than you, right? Like, they're the aristocracy now. And they are acting like it. And, of course, they are acting like it because they can afford it. Like, if the only opposition party is the AFD, and they make sure that the AFD never wins elections. Like, okay, in case you don't know what they do, they have this thing called the cordon sanitaire. The sanitary cordon, right? Like, it's the AFD is like a disease, if you will. And so they don't negotiate with them. They don't talk with them. They have this terrorist organization, as the United States call it, in order to constantly harass and intimidate people from voting AFD or joining the AFD or donating to AFD. They use the state media to intercept the communications of the AFD. I wouldn't be surprised if they plan people in the AFD, if they don't subvert the AFD. But that's not all of the things that they do. Recently, like, there have been politicians that just died, you know, before the elections. I think it was like more than 7 of them. And on top of that, like, they got the politician off the ballot before an election. And so, like, yeah, I wouldn't say Germany is a democracy, you know. Russia, I wouldn't say it's a democracy. China is not a democracy. I don't think Germany is one either. And the thing is, like, in order for the AFD to even do something, like, they would have to get 50 plus 1% of the vote. And the main problem is, like, there are people benefiting from the current system that you can't persuade ideologically. This is, like, one of the things that's missing in American political talk, right? Like, the idea that politics, like, there is good and bad, and there's good politics that decent, honest people respect, and then there's bad politics that grifters like. No, look, if you're a person in Germany that's working for the government, and that can be a teacher, a university professor, someone from the mainstream media, a person from the NGOs, some grifter that runs a hotel, and you are getting government money, right? Like if you're getting government cash in any way, like you don't have to physically work for them, but like if you're part of an NGO, you have a financial incentive to support what's happening. And you gotta understand, like, these people, they don't care about the nation state. Like, for them, the nation state is a plot of land where economic transactions happen. And so, if something bad takes place, like the standard of living goes down, the government goes bankrupt, they can just use their money and go to another nation. Right? And so, this is why it's difficult for the AFD to win. It's not like people don't understand that environmentalism causes problems. But if you're part of an NGO that gets money from the government in order to push environmentalism, there's absolutely like no right-wing argument. There's no right-wing take that's going to change your mind because you're making money off of it, right?
I will not apologize for violating their legal special protection because in a democracy, politicians must tolerate criticism. The reason why the German government and intelligence gained an interest in me is because I was the very first young English-speaking influencer to openly align with the AfD party, right-of-center political views, and most importantly, I supported President Trump since he came down the golden escalator in 20...
I mean, the main reason that they're against her is because she's a woman. I'm not going to pussyfoot around the issue, but a lot of the shit that happened in Germany happened on the back of feminism, right? And it's like the whole American Miracle, the whole feminist movement, which justified the censorship of the internet. That's how it started, right? Like the censorship with the fact checkers and all that bullshit. It started because of a case in the United Kingdom where a girl that got bullied on social media by other girls, by the way, committed suicide, right? And so, like, the idea was like, oh, well, the internet is a dangerous place and we need safe spaces and, online bullying needs to stop. And so, like, they did the terms of service. They put the trust and safety councils everywhere. And it was, like, with female leaders like Angela Merkel and Theresa May at the time and many other female politicians saying that, oh, well, it's very difficult for women to govern because of the misogyny and the patriarchy. And so, like, we need safe spaces. We need rules. And contradicting one of these women made you a misogynist, right? Made you a sexist. And at the time, that was treated the same way today it's treated to be called a pedophile. Like, I'm not saying, like, someone that actually is, but, like, the accusation itself, right? Like, the accusation is enough to destroy someone's life. Just like back then, the accusation of being a misogynist was enough to destroy someone's life. And later on, it became racist, and then it became transphobic, and now people on Twitter fly the pedophile accusation. But it's important to understand, right? Like, that there was, like, that word that at the time was enough to get you fired. And to get you labeled as a misogynist, all you had to do was to disagree with a woman, right? And so when you have a woman that's actually pretty and good looking and she's against the system, it completely destroys the narrative that all women are together and there's the sorority and you should care about women and you should simp for women. Because like that was like the main ethos of feminism. It's like men should become simps. And all women, the ones that were presented were fat, ugly, hitting the wall, 45-year-old, constantly talking about socialism nonstop. And it created the illusion that all women agree with them. And so when you have a woman stepping off the line, like she's more dangerous than 100 people like Andrew Tate.
2015 and announced that he was running for president. Trump's election victory was the crack in the matrix that terrified globalist tyrants. And now I am the bridge between Germany and the MAGA movement, which the European Union desperately wants to burn. You may remember me from 2020 when I appeared on Fox and on the front page of the Washington Post and became internationally recognized as the anti-Greta Thunberg, a climate skeptic. Now I am a representative for Deutschlandkurier, Germany's leading alternative media outlet, whose editor-in-chief David Bendels received a 7-month probation sentence earlier this year because he posted a meme mocking the Interior Minister's hatred of free speech. Quite ironic, if you ask me. This is why I started working with them, because I stand in solidarity with his admirable courage. I am publicly sharing my asylum request now, as President Trump has announced new refugee priorities, including Europeans who have been targeted for their peaceful expression of views online, such as opposition to mass migration and support for populist parties, according to the New York Times. But if you think I ran away cowardly and abandoned my homeland, you would be mistaken. This is only the beginning. I am seeking protection under the United States government to expose the truth about the tyranny of Germany.
Yeah, no, the idea of like running away, if you go to another nation, in my opinion, it's mentally retarded. In 2025, you can use the internet and continue saying the exact same message as if you're in Germany, right? And more importantly, and I said this on my previous video, and I maintain this, it's very important to get out of the mindset that you have an obligation to stay in your nation, right? Like for some reason, I'm looking at Sargon, right? He got born in a city, and he left that city. He went to Swindon. I don't know like what city he was born in, but I do know that he moved to another city. And that was no problem. Like no one said that's abandoning your family, abandoning your homeland, abandoning your home, right? No, it's that like he moved to another city. Like who fucking cares? But if I tell him go to France or go to Poland or go to Hungary, oh my god, oh, it's like unthinkable. That's a betrayal. And it's like, okay, help me understand this. The way that your government oppresses you is using your own money. Your government exploits you, in particular, by reaching into your pocket, taking money that then they use for their welfare programs, for their state apparatus, for their repression apparatus, right? You can deny them those cash by moving away. And you can continue doing what you're doing from Poland, right? Like you can still have the Lotus Eaters from Poland. You can still vote when the elections come. You can still go to Britain. Like there's nothing stopping you, right? But you just stop paying the government. No, that's running away. Well, help me understand something. Like if you actually, the fight happens, that you need to stay and fight. Okay, if the fight happens, like first of all, like Sargon is not going to be on the streets, right? Like let's be honest. But secondly, if the fight does happen, how does the government pay for the police? It pays for the police from the money he's taking from Sargon, so he would literally be funding the police, right? Stop funding the people that hate you. It's not difficult. Just go to another country. And so, like, I do respect what this AFD lady is doing, right? Like, she's going to the United States, and then the Germans can't intercept her calls. Then they can't arrest her because she says mean things about politicians. So no, like, I really disagree with the thing, like, don't leave, fight. Like, imagine this, imagine you're in a medieval society, and you're on this noble's plot, like this tyrant's plot, and other peasants are telling you, no, like, stay on his plot of land, don't go to another noble. No, stay on this plot of land. I gotta say, like, I'm from Eastern Europe, and many people started thinking like me during communism. That's why they built the German Wall. Right? Like, that's why they built the Berlin Wall, to keep people from leaving. They called it capitalist flight. It was destroying the system. Like the Soviet Union was about to collapse a lot earlier because people were leaving and the government was running out of money. Like, people are a resource, right? And if you mistreat people and people leave, you have to start treating them better. But again, the slave morality. It's like, no, you gotta stay where you're born because the place is magical. The reality is your family is, your home is where your family is, right? So, like, if your nation genuinely starts hating you, take your family and leave. Like, a man's responsibility is to his family. And so, like, if the nation is starting to create negative things for your family, just take them and go to another nation. And by the way, here's another thing, right? If you're an American, and let's say you're in California, and things go really bad in California, and you go to Texas, is that abandoning your homeland? Like, is anyone going to criticize you for that? No, right? Like, no one is like, okay, so he was in California, he moved to Texas. No one cares. But if it's in Europe and he's in Britain and he goes to France, it's the end of the world. I refuse to accept this mentality. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, no. And by the way, look at PewDiePie, right? Like, PewDiePie was in Sweden, and he didn't like Sweden. Things were going bad. Moves to Japan, has a family, is raising a son there. He looks happy. But, like, for some reason, I have to believe, like, no, like, he did the bad thing. No, he didn't. Like, he prioritized his family. Had he stayed in Sweden, would it be better for him? No. Well, to be honest, the Lotus Eaters, like, Sargon has like 3 people that left the Lotus Eaters, right? He's had Callum. Callum is now in Saudi Arabia, and I think like he moved to Poland. He's got like that ear guy, the one with religion and shit. He's in the United States. V says this, but he stated in the past he wouldn't leave Romania for a better life abroad. Yeah, but I didn't saw what the UK has become, sorry. No, like, if my country would ever become, like, the level as UK, and already my country has cancelled an election period, right? And so, like, no, if my country, like, generally becomes as bad as the UK, I would probably leave, yeah. And for me, it's not hard leaving. Like, I can live to Hungary, it's over the border, I can go to Poland, can go to Moldavia, like, you know, like, if you're a YouTuber and you work online, living is easy. No, I changed my mind with that. No, fuck that shit. If my country actually becomes a shithole, like, you get online mass censorship, you get increasing taxation, you get the inflation, which ruins your purchasing power, you get crime on the streets. No, I would leave. I wouldn't stay here. PewDiePie lived in Birmingham, UK. Oh, I didn't know. I thought he was Swedish. Okay, fine, whatever, like Birmingham, UK. Come on. Yeah, PewDiePie is in Japan. He's got a family over there. He made the smart decision. Seriously, like, if I was PewDiePie's dad, I would congratulate him. I'd be like, well done, son. Met a nice guy a few weeks back who just moved from Sweden to the UK. Well, I to the United States. Yeah, I mean, I guess there are those people. I'm from Kakifornistan, and I won't leave because the weather is too damn good. Yeah, I mean, it depends, you know, what your interests are. Like, you can live in a shithole. Like, you can live in a dictatorship, but, like, if you're having a good life, then don't leave. At the end of the day, like, people need to start prioritizing what's good for them. Right? And more importantly, what's good for your family. Stop allowing other people to tell you what to do. Like, you're a grown-ass adult. You should be able to know what's good and what's bad for you. Hungary is based. I don't know. Like, it has like certain. Hungary is kind of owned by the Chinese. Like, this is the thing. Viktor Orban specifically. A lot of people think he's owned by the Russians. He's owned by the Chinese. The reason for it is that there is a very important railway that goes from Hungary to the European Union. It's a very old railway. It was built during the Soviets, and that's a railway that the Chinese need in order for all their merchandise to go from China into the EU. And so they own Viktor Orban. The problem with Hungary is that it had a lot of right-wing periods. Like, I think it's more than a decade of right-wing. So it's time for them to have a leftist government. It's kind of how it works, you know? Like, if you have a lot of leftism, like you have in America, eventually you get a Trump. And if you have, like, a lot of good time, if you have a lot of right-wing, like, eventually you get a left-wing government. Poland. Before these elections, that's what happened there, right? You're right. You can't do anything in your country. You go in another nation. For instance, China and Russia, which don't only pay but organize movement protests against governments in the West. Yeah, no, like, I generally, like, don't understand this mindset in the modern time, you know, where you can just get on a plane and you're back in your country. The idea that, no, you have to stay like you're a peasant tied to the land, like you're a serf. Like, I'm not a fucking serf. I can go wherever the fuck I want. And not only that, you know, it's a 1 hour plane trip. 1 fucking hour, right? From the UK to Poland. Like, you can visit your parents every fucking weekend. The plane ticket is not even that expensive. It's like $100 or some shit for a guy like Sargon, who pays more than $100 to his government on a monthly basis, that's affordable. You can literally visit your parents. I don't get it. Too much nepotism and foreign influence in Hungary? Yeah, but that's like pretty much the entire Europe. Like, especially Eastern Europe. The CIA would never organize a movement in a foreign country. Oh my god. Problem being that what makes shitholes isn't just pushed here or there. The shittification comes from every country. Even like you're not going to live until the entire world gets shittified, and the entire world doesn't get shittified. Like some shitholes become good places. Like for instance, El Salvador. And so like you just need to jump like twice or maybe 3 times if you can afford it. And if you're smart, you can only jump once. Like you don't need to constantly island hop, right? No, that's not the thing. Like eventually there will be nowhere to run. When has it been in human history that there was absolutely nowhere to run? Maybe like during the Great Plague, right? Like during the Black Death, you could say, okay, there's nowhere to run. But like outside of that, okay, World War I and World War II, all right. But no, actually even then, you could go to Switzerland, right? Like never in human history has there ever been a time where you can say there is nowhere to run. History is not finite. We're not going to heading to the apocalypse. Like places get bad, and then bad places get good. It's a cyclical thing. There is no nation in human history that had always bad time. There is no nation in human history that has always good time, right? Like things change. Okay, maybe Switzerland is a nation that always has good time, or you can go to a Liechtenstein or some shit. But like, other than that, you can always find a place. My escape plan is southern Argentina. I think Alaska is actually pretty good. If you want to go to Africa, Botswana isn't bad. Man, Mexico is the nation that I don't fucking get. Like that's the... See, I tried like thinking about different nations throughout history to see like if there is anything that is even remotely the same as Mexico. And the answer is no. I can't... Like here's the thing with Mexico. Like it's not the corruption, because like corruption is everywhere, right? Like you get corrupt nations and shit. But Mexico is like this place where you have like the cartels stronger than the government. Like there are places in Mexico where the cartel has like paramilitary organization with heavy weapons. Which again, like it's not necessarily abnormal because you have failed states, right? Like you have places in the Middle East where you have like terrorists with middle weapons. But like in those places, the terrorists are the de facto rulers, right? Like they are there is no government. It's a failed state. Mexico is not a failed state. This is what's mind-blowing to me, right? They have like the cartels, and in some cases like the cartels and the government are the same. Like the same person that works for the cartel also works for the government. Like, okay. But in other places not so much. Like in other places like it's legitimate under the Mexican government. But the way it operates is that the cartels run the micromanagement. So like if you're in a city, like the cartel basically makes the law. You know, they can actually tell a farmer what to plant. They can basically like, you have like 2 people having an argument and the cartel comes in and they settle the argument. And so the Mexican government, what it does is it controls the infrastructure and it provides legitimacy for dealing with other nations. Because like if Mexico was a failed state, then it doesn't have the legitimacy to operate trade or, you know, get foreign aid or anything like that. And so like they managed to, like, this is so fucking weird. Like because like, you know that this is the case because the government actually managed to catch El Chapo's son, and the cartels came in and they demanded they release him, and the government did. So like the government doesn't have a monopoly on force. It's one of the only nations on planet Earth where the government doesn't have monopoly on force, but actually does lead the nation. Like the Mexican government decisions aren't useless. Right? Like, they actually do impact the people on the ground. And they're not in a civil war. Right? Because if it's like a place like Syria, When you had like Bashar al-Assad and you had like various factions, and you know, in some places like the Kurds were there or the ISIS were there, and they genuinely like had the monopoly on violence. In Mexico, it's not like that, right? Like Mexico, if the government wants to, with like it's not at war with the cartels. It's just, I don't know, so fucking weird. Brazil, I would have to look into it. We'll have to look into it and see if Brazil is the same. No, Venezuela doesn't. No, like Venezuela, the dictator is the dictator, right? Like the Venezuelan dictator, like he is the Chapo, right? Like Venezuela is if the cartels took over, and I can understand if the cartels took over because that makes sense, right? Like you have a faction that actually dominated the nation. Like okay, that can happen. That's normal in human history. Like it happens. But to have like two factions that don't really cause friction to each other, it's. Chad forgets that the largest BLM Facebook pages was owned by an Australian who stole all the donations. If he can do it, so can you. The thing is, like, he didn't actually stole the donations, right? Like he created a BLM website, and there's not, like, there wasn't an IP or a logo or anything like that. He just made the BLM shit. And people donated to BLM, so like it was legal. It was on the up and up. There was no theft there. They're having a small war in Brazil. I hope my favorite hentai developer is fine then. Anyway, I'm Mexican. I'm living in Mexico, and you are 100% correct. Dude, like there were people in Mexico that were content creators and influencers, and they were just like making videos and talking about like their life and shit, and then they talked about the cartels and they got executed. And there was like a 40-year-old something woman and another young woman, and they got shot. And I'm thinking like, what the fuck, dude? What the fuck? Like, can you imagine if that happened in the United States? Like, it would be a scandal at least. But in Mexico, it's like, well, I mean, they looked for it. You know, they made fun of the cartels. Did I skip a super chat? I'm sorry, Frog Jupiter. Let me check. Democracy is a socialist value? Not necessarily. Democracy exists before socialism. Like the Rome Republic was democratic, right? And you have like democracy from Athens. And you can't have socialism without democracy. I mean, the Soviet Union, was it democratic? In theory, yes. In practice, no. The AFD should call for a revolt. Why do you think they would win? No, seriously, like if you can't get 50 plus 1% of the men to vote, why would you win a revolt? Some men don't mind. My grandfather at 16 went to the Pacific in World War II, wrote to my grandmother posing in photos with Japanese tanks he took out. But he was a psycho, jumping on grenades in the trenches. Came home, joined the mafia. Is this how you got your job? You have connections to the mafia? After the last 30 years, I will never fight to defend women. Unless they fight as well. I will hit Alt F4 first. You just said riots don't matter. Then you say people will riot. Pick a lane. What was I talking about when I said that people don't riot? And maybe I did. I'll have to... Like, I'm sorry for not seeing your super chat when I was posting it. Thank goodness. I have 96 on my ASVAB go to nuke school in the Navy. Far away from the front. Worst case, I'll be in logistics. Yeah, there's a lot of places in a war where you can be and you're not going to get killed. Or at least you're least likely. Anyway, thank you chat for watching this. I appreciate the super chats. Hopefully I managed to entertain you all. And I'll see you tomorrow.